Alright, hello everyone. Legends of Runeterra recently entered open beta, and I've been a longtime player of competitive card games. So I thought I'd play it a little bit, see how it goes, and give my opinion. So I think Legends of Runeterra has some really unique elements, and I think it's shaping up to be a really well thought out game by Riot. You know, there's League and there's TFT, two very big games, and I think this is shaping up to be a really good third kind of trifecta for them. So I'm planning on doing expeditions today. I've done expeditions a couple times in the past week, and every time I've played, I've done relatively well, ranging from 5 wins to 7. So, I thought I'd just make a video running through my thought process during the drafting and as well as the gameplay, to kind of give you a little look inside my mind. And if you're new to competitive card games, maybe it'll help you out a little bit. Maybe it'll help you, find your stride, or give you a new outlook. So without further ado, let's hop right in. So obviously, as you start your expeditions, you have to essentially buy your way in. So your first option is to essentially use Legend of Runeterra currency, which is the same as RP in League if you play League. The next way is with shards. I don't have enough shards, obviously. And the last one is with these tokens. These tokens are given out by Riot for special events. You'll get one at the end of your prologue for free. So once you finish the prologue and the tutorial, you'll be good to go. So once you're in expeditions, obviously, you're going to have 2 trials. Each trial is a separate drafting phase. Trial 1, you'll draft a deck and you'll play. If you lose twice consecutively, you'll be dropped from the trial and you'll be starting trial 2. Essentially, that's all there is to it. So as we get into drafting, we kind of need to keep in mind what decks are really strong here. So you always want to go for more units over spells. Just as a standard, units have more base value than spells do. So, Demacia or Noxus is always pretty decent. They've got nice buff, they have some nice aggro, and they've got some nice removal as well. So they're really good to play into. So is Ionia. So of course, the first pick is going to be a champion pick. Champion picks are kind of, you pick a champion in a region, and then you get 2 other cards associated with that champion. So as we can see, Tryndamere is representing Freylord right now. Zed with Ionia, and Draven with Noxus. So right here, I'm thinking, I think Zed is just the better kind of first pick. Also, Ionia gives me access to Deny, which is a counterspell. So, although Deny is not really that common, if you are able to get one, because they're uncommon, no one's going to be able to deny your Deny, meaning that you essentially have a free counter. So, start off here, then you have your second champion pick. Now, Ionia is really strong by itself, Shadow Isles is really strong by itself, and I think the pick here is to pick the Shadow Isles. Thresh is really strong by himself, especially with the idea that we have Zed. Every time that one of Zed's shadows dies, Thresh gets a passive. And so, because of that, it's really good to have those. We also have Glimpse Beyond, which allows you to, reset blocks. It allows you to reset aggro, and as well as maintaining card draw. And then Scribe. Scribe is pretty good, especially because you're already sacking a bunch of your cards. So this just gives you more of an option in terms of actual pick potential, right? Obviously, removal is going to be extremely strong in this kind of limited format. So any kind of removal you can get your hands on is incredibly good. And I think what we're going for, although although Faye is really, really good on her own in an Ionia deck, it works really well, Ionia Shadow Isles, but we're kind of veering towards the idea of playing from our graveyard, right? So although picking the 1/1 and the 1/3 is pretty good, we don't have any other stuns or recalls too, so we're not getting the most value. And a 2 mana for a 1/3, I'd rather have a 2 mana for a 2/2, in all honesty. Whereas we have guaranteed removal on the side in addition to essentially 2 units. So, you know, we've got a lot of 2-drops right now, and what we need is we need some more on the other side of 2, right? We need a 1-drop. Fortunately, there's no 1-drops, and we also need 4-drops. So if I was branching into Freljord from before, I would probably take these just because Take Heart is honestly extremely strong, but I don't know if it's strong enough just to actually splash because it'll screw up our later picks. I think probably our best bet is going to be either the Ionia or Shadow Isles, as we've already picked into them. Let's see. And I think we'll probably take Shield Wall. Stand United is really strong, I feel like, you know, the ability to kind of have your opponent think that you're blocking in a specific way and then switch around so that you're able to kill something you wouldn't normally have been able to. It's really good. These are all really good picks. I think we go here just because Elusive is extremely strong in a format where there's not really a lot of removal. Elusive is extremely strong because it's essentially guaranteed damage. In addition, it gives us a 4-drop and it kind of helps the curve a little bit. So we've already got a Mr. Wraith, or we would have had a Mr. Wraith if we went earlier. So picking Mr. Wraith back then, if we had known that there was going to be another one, would have been really good. I think since we'd only have the one, I don't necessarily think it's the best, and instead I think we pick the Elusive as well as Windchaser, right? So these two have really good synergy together. Also, this gives us kind of a big, beefy drop near the end of our curve. Towards mid game, it'll help finish out some of these games. And once you get to the middle game, especially in limited, it's really weird. It's not consistent at all. And a lot of times people won't have these late drops, these bombs, because they're just not drafting for them, right? They're drafting for early game. They're trying to get that win and they're trying to move on. So I think we pick here. And as I said, perfect. Is it Deny, right? Deny is such a good standalone deck. So normally I might pick up the Shadow Assassin, more elusive, just super good. You know, we're not going Spiders, no reason to go Brood Awakening. Mist Wraith, again, we've got a lot of 2-drops. 2-drops aren't the worst. But I think we go here, right? And so we've got a nice curve, but we definitely need to kind of get some more 4 and 5 drops and some 3-drops. Let's see. So, as much as I kind of want the removal, in addition to the just kind of the sudden buff that people don't usually expect, I think going here and getting an additional 6-drop, it'll help round out our mid game, in addition to giving us a 1-drop that can help us out. So, pick here. You know, Glimpse Beyond is really good. I don't necessarily think it's super good in this deck particularly, though. I think we pick over here again. We get yet another 5-drop, and we're kind of able to stall out with Lifesteal. So, I think we pull the Vengeance here because it's just super strong removal, right? Removal's not really a thing. Denies aren't necessarily being taken. Denies aren't really a thing in Limited unless you get lucky, like I did. And so I think picking the Vengeance, it's essentially a free kill on something, and you shouldn't be passing that up. I think we do this. Just we'll get another 3-drop. It'll help round out Blot side, or we could pull through here. As we can see, we're very heavily Ione right now with just a splash of Shadow Isles for the removal. So we do this, we get another 1-drop. Then I definitely think we're going to go here. But it's always good to make sure that you're paying attention to things, right? If we were playing more of a Yasuo focused deck, we would want the recall and we'd want everything, but recall only works on an ally, so it's really only good situations that don't necessarily come up too often. It needs too much synergy. Whereas if you just pick flat stats, right, lifesteal and elusive, this will also help round out our curve a little bit more. That's kind of what we want. We've got a really, really nice curve going in. And if we pick these, we'll have an even nicer curve. As you can see, I'm just trying to fill out my curve right now. Because once we're able to do that, we've got a lot of disruption, honestly, which is pretty good. And then finally, as your 15th pick, you get an option to trade, right? So Missed Call isn't very good. Solitary Monk isn't very good because we don't really have enough that goes off of recalls. And honestly, the 1-1 is pretty good. Her ability is just kind of like the cherry on top. So I think we just skip all the trades and we jump right in.